And welcome to the first ever production of the C.E.O. or the Widget Company, a modern adaptation of Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado. This performance will be presented with one 15-minute intermission. At this time, take a moment to silence all of your electronic devices or risk being fired for cause by our title character. And now please welcome the cast of our production. Please welcome our conductor, the music director of the C.E.O., Nada Radakovich. And now, the University of Michigan Gilbert and Sullivan Society presents the C.E.O.
Engaged to Hugo, in pity speak, oh speak I pray you.
Why, who are you who ask this question?
Come gather round me, and I'll tell you. A music major I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby. My next recital's merry drinks assemble, never quail or they conceal it if they can. And I shouldn't be surprised if millions tremble before the mighty teams that come from Michigan. And if you call for a song of the lakes, we'll join this houseboat around with the yo heave ho for the wind it breaks to the scenic shore to the breath it takes. Hurrah for the homeward bound!
Hurrah for the homeward bound!
The weekend warrior leaves the land to see his sails inflate, but the happiest fate of a sailor's plan is bending down while he floats around with the cold beer in his hand. Yo ho! And a pasty on his plate. A music major, I'm a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby, and dreamy lullaby.
And what may be your business with Brielle?
I'll tell you, last spring I just finished my 6th year of undergrad. I was sitting back and listening to some crazy preacher here on the dais when all of a sudden I saw Brielle with a group of freshman voice majors doing some kind of outdoor concert. I took out my trombone, played along, and we fell for each other at first sight reading. But she was engaged to a graduate of the business school named Hugo, and I knew that my pitch was hopeless. Overwhelmed with despair, I ran off to a part of Idaho so remote it didn't even have Wi-Fi. Judge of my delight when I heard from a park ranger that Hugo had taken an entry-level job at Worldwide Widgets at their branch office in New Jersey. I hurried back at once in the hope of finding Brielle at liberty to listen to my protestations.
I hate to break this to you, but I'm HR director at Worldwide Widgets. It is true that Hugo took the job in New Jersey, but last month he was transferred back to the home office on South State and promoted to company president under the following remarkable circumstances. Our C.E.O. a man is glad when he our company acquired. We sought to try a plan whereby its worth might be inflated. So he decreed in forceful tone, we'll cut expenses to the bone. The staff with shortest tenure shown shall all be terminated. Shall all be terminated. And I expect that you all agree that he was trying to so decree, and I am right and you are right, and all is right as right can be. And you are right and we are right, and all is right as right can be. And all is right as right can be. All is right can be. As you might guess, this stern decree caused shockwaves through the company. Employees gasped, for each one grasped their workload had expanded. Since staff with low seniority, who do most of the work, you see, the first to lay guard off would be, and leave the rest short-handed, and leave the rest short-handed. You understand understand as I detect that they were right to so expect. And I am right and you are right and everything is quite correct.
You are right, we are right, and everything is quite correct.
And everything is quite correct. All is quite correct. Now personnel is my domain, so no one needed to explain what I must do, and so I threw the rulebook from the shelf up, and this decree to circumvent our newest hardly president. No layoffs come with his consent until he lays himself up, until he lays himself up. And I was right, I think you'll say, to ring this in this kind of way. And I am right, and you are right, and all is right to lure away.
You are right, and we are right, and all is right to lure away.
And I am right, and you are right, and all is right.
Hugo, president of Worldwide Widgets. Why, that's a better gig than president of the USA.
It is. Since Mr. Bender, our CEO, spends most of his time incommunicado at his compound in Miami, the president is left to run the company in any way he sees fit.
Do all these people work for Worldwide Widgets?
Not anymore. All our major department heads, save HR, resigned when Hugo was appointed president. So, I took them over.
All of them?
And the salaries attached to them? He did.
I did. You see, I am, in point of fact, a particularly haughty person of exclusive pre-Mayflower ancestral descent. You will understand this when I tell you that I can trace my American ancestry back to the great-grandfather of Leif Erikson's second cousin by marriage. Consequently, my family pride is something inconceivable. I can't help it. I was born sneering. But I struggle hard to overcome this defect. I mortify my pride continually. It is consequently my degrading duty to serve this upstart as head of engineering, sales, marketing and communication, development, payroll, and the maintenance departments. I am also the chief custodian, and at an hourly salary. An executive vice president paid hourly, and bi-weekly. I, a bi-weekly salaried minion. But I do it. It revolts me, but I do it.
And it does you credit.
And I don't stop at that. I go and dine with out-of-town clients on reasonable terms. I appear at regional office parties for a moderate fee. I accept refreshment from any hand, however lowly. I also retail company secrets at a very low figure. For instance, any more information about Brielle would fall under the heading of a company secret. Ha! Another insult! Oh, and I think a light one. Oh. Young man, despair, likewise go to Brielle the fair. You must not go, it will not do. I'm sorry for you, you undergraduate, non-resident. From what I see, you'll be ignored. Such luxury you can't afford. She'll never switch from a guy so rich. She'll wed the new company president. And the brass will crash, and the trumpets break, and she'll spend his cash on her wedding day. Then toddle away as all is sent with the new company president.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets break, and she'll spend his cash on her wedding day.
Then toddle away as all is sent with the new company hopeless case, as you may see, and in your place away I flee. But don't blame me, I'm sorry to be of your happiness an impediment. They'll vow their pact extremely soon. In point of fact, tomorrow noon, her honeymoon with that buffoon is a consequence you can't prevent. And the brass will clash, and the trumpets play, and she'll spend his cash on her wedding day. Then toddle away, as all is said, with the new company president.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets break, and she'll spend his cash on her wedding day.
Then toddle away, as all is said, with the new company president.
And have I journeyed for a day, or nearly, to learn that Brielle, whom I love so dearly, this day to Hugo is to be united.
The fact appears to be as you've recited. But here he comes, and dressed as suits his station, he'll give you any further information.
Sometimes is in trances, sweating out at every pore, as from long and weary dances, shown up to the highest floor, overlooking vast expanses, surely never lived before, even in absurd romances, written back in days of yore, someone in my circumstances, taken from the Jersey Shore, by a set of curious chances, surely never lived before, even in the days of yore. Invent, for the worldwide business president, present, intend to the president, worldwide president. Which it will ever be my study to deserve. If I should ever be called upon to act professionally, I'm happy to think there will be plenty of people whose loss will be a distinct gain to the company at large. If someday to make staffing cuts I undergo the urge, I've got a little list of those company offenders who would not survive the purge and who never would be missed. They never would be missed. There are nesters filling cubicles with pictures of their cats, their livestock, dogs, and children, and all wearing funny hats. And managers with inclinations to over-explain, who always lengthen meetings with minutiae most inane, reviewing things again when I've already got the gist. They'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
He's got him on the list. He's got him on the list. And they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
All the staff who barricade their cubes as if building a fort, I've got them on the list. I've got them on the list. With those who cannot function without coffee by the quart, and who never would be missed. They never would be missed. All the microwavers always cooking aromatic fish, and who clog the drain with entrails every time they rinse the dish. And those who set the thermostat above the tropic zone, and people who spend all their time communing with their phone. Oh, play loud music even when requested to desist. They'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
He's got him on the list. He's got him on the list. And they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
All those who save vacation time by claiming to be sick, I've got them on the list. I've got them on the list. Or store their paperwork in piles as high as they are thick. They never would be missed. They never would be missed. And the office politicians seeking angles to pursue, or slugs who never leave their chairs as if affixed by glue, or ghosts who posted office hours conveniently ignore, who watch the clock from dawn to dusk with 1 foot out the door. But it really doesn't matter whom you put upon the list, for they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
You may put them on the list. You may put them on the list. And they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
Reuben, it seems to me, given my new position, that the festivities in connection with my approaching marriage ought to last a week. I'd like to do it handsomely, and I want to consult you as to the amount I ought to spend upon them.
Certainly. In which of my capacities? As CFO, CIO, CAO, COO, CPA, or Executive Secretary?
Suppose we say as Executive Secretary.
Well, speaking as your Executive Secretary, I should say that, as you can write it off as a business expense, don't cheat yourself, do it well.
Oh, exactly. Claim it as a business expense. That is your advice.
As Executive Secretary, if it were not that, of course you will understand that as Chief Financial Officer, I am bound to see that due economy is observed.
Oh, but you said just now, don't stint yourself, do it well.
As Executive Secretary.
And now you say that due economy must be observed?
As CFO.
I see. Come over here where the CFO can't hear us. Now then, as my personal attorney, how would you advise me to deal with this difficulty?
Oh, as your personal attorney, I should have no hesitation in saying, chance it.
Thank you, I will.
If you were not that, as Chief Legal Officer, I am bound to see that the law isn't violated.
I see. Come over here where the CLO can't hear us. Now then, as head of payroll.
Oh, of course. As head of payroll, I could arrange a one-time stipend that would cover all expenses. If it were not that, as lead accountant, I would be required to deny it out of hand. Or, as head of procurement, I could set up a series of back-channel payments, so as lead auditor, I would never discover the fraud. But then, as company chaplain, it would be my duty to denounce my dishonesty and give myself over into my own hands as head of compliance.
That's extremely awkward.
Well, I'm not saying that all these people couldn't be square. It is safe to say, though, that they would not be degraded enough in their own estimations unless they were sufficiently degraded with a large bribe.
The matter shall have my careful consideration. Oh, but my fiancée and her roommates approached. And any little compliment on your part, such as abject groveling, would be esteemed a favor.
No free beer, no grovel.
gentleman who used to play so beautifully on the
thigh.
Is that what it's called? Ooh.
Sir, I have the misfortune to love your fiancée. Oh, I know I deserve your anger.
Anger? Well, not a bit. I love her myself. Charming girl, isn't she? Pretty eyes, nice hair, taking little thing altogether. Very glad to hear my opinion backed by an independent analysis. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Take him away.
What is this? I didn't realize it's 89. Oh, you look so alive.
Go away, little girls. Can't talk to little girls like you. Go away. There's deals.
Allow me to present you, Reuben. This is my fiancée. And her roommates.
Shall I genuflect?
No, just acknowledge their existence. You didn't mean it, you know.
It goes against the grain.
Come, there's a good executive.
Well, I shan't mean it. How do you do, little girls? Ladies. How do you do, ladies? Oh, my Viking ancestors. I see nothing to laugh at. It's very painful for me to have to say, how do you do, little ladies? How do you do to young persons? I'm not in the habit of saying, how do you do, little ladies? How do you do to anyone beneath the rank of a stockbroker.
Don't laugh at him. He can't help it. He's under treatment for it. Never mind them. They don't understand the delicacy of your position.
We understand the delicacy of it, don't we?
I should think we did. How a businessman of your importance can do it at all is something I never can, never shall understand.
So this very much regret if we have failed in etiquette. Don't want to live so high, we shall know better by and by. But you and of course must have it fling so hard and it's so hard.
So people like happy sweet behold us, if we decide to dance and sing la-la-la-la.
But you're not cause, must have it fling so hard and must enjoy it all. Like happy sweet behold us, with the
I think you ought to recollect you cannot show too much respect towards the most accomplished, but nobody does, so why should you?
That you thought I should have his thing is marvelous,
To our prerogative we cling so pardon us, if we incline to that, and sing
At last we are alone. I drove 30 hours from the middle of nowhere in the belief that your fiancé had moved away. And I find that you are about to be married to him tomorrow?
Alas, yes.
But you don't love him.
Alas, no.
Modified rapture! But why don't you dump him?
You know I'm here on company scholarship.
And so?
A worldwide Widget's company scholarship.
Oh, but he wouldn't pull your scholarship.
I'd rather not find out. Besides, a perpetual student in the School of Music, both of us are. One of us will eventually need to find a real job, don't you think?
But, shall I tell her? Yes, she needs to know. What if it should prove that after all, I am no musician?
Yes, I've heard you play.
What if it should prove that I am no other than the son of the legendary Clinton Bender, worldwide Widget C.E.O.?
The son of the C.E.O.? Why all the secrecy? Why all the lies? And why the trauma
alone.
Some years ago, I had the misfortune to get involved with Katya, my father's Russian mistress. She misconstrued my customary affability into expressions of affection. And when my father found out, he ordered me to marry her, so as not to jeopardize his plans for a new factory complex in Moscow. I told him I'd do it, but only after I finished my undergraduate degree. He agreed, but until I graduate, he cut me off without a dime, hence the trombone. That was 7 years ago.
If you please, I think you better not come too near. You never know who's watching.
But we are quite alone. Nobody can see us.
What century are you from? There are security cameras everywhere.
To hell with cameras. I'll risk it.
You might, but I won't. Besides, I hear those Russians, if you cross them, will feed you plutonium in a juice box.
If it were not for that, how happy we might be.
Oh, happy indeed.
If it were not for the cameras, we should now be sitting side by side. Like that.
Instead of being obliged to sit half a mile off like that.
We should be gazing into each other's eyes. Like that.
Breathing sighs of unutterable love. Like that.
With our arms around each other's waists. Like that.
Ooh, yes. If it wasn't for the cameras.
If it wasn't for the cameras.
And the radioactive juice boxes.
And the radioactive juice boxes.
As it is, of course, we couldn't do anything of the kind.
Not for
We're
worlds.
hoping engaged to Hugo, you know.
Engaged to Hugo. Were you not to Hugo plighted, I would say in tender tone, loved one, let us be united, let us be each other's own. I would merge all rank and station, worldly sneers are not to us, and to mark my admiration, I would kiss you fondly thus. I would kiss you fondly thus.
But as I'm engaged to Hugo, our love course is never true. Our connection cannot Hugo, so I'll have to ask that Hugo.
Hugo. I go, so in spite of all temptation, such a theme I'll not discuss, and on no consideration will I kiss you fondly thus. Will I kiss you fondly thus? Let me make it clear to you, this is what I'll never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this, this is what I'll never, never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this, this is what I'll never do.
He'll never do.
I'll never do.
He'll never do.
Oh this, this is what I'll never, never
Call me.
There she goes. To think how entirely my future happiness is wrapped up in that little parcel. Really, it hardly seems worthwhile. Oh, matrimony! Oh, what is it? Can't you see I'm soliloquizing? You have interrupted an Instagram, sir.
Did you get the email from the CEO?
An email from the CEO? What the world could he have to say to me? Ah, here it is at last. Oh, I thought it would come sooner or later. The CEO is struck by the fact that no layoffs have taken place in worldwide widgets this year. And he decrees that unless somebody is laid off within the next month, the president shall be fired. Fired? Without severance? And the home office closed and relocated to Pakistan?
But that will involve us all in irretrievable ruin.
Yes. There's no help for it. I shall have to fire somebody at once. The only question is, who shall it be?
Well, it seems unkind to say so, but seeing as you have the least seniority, everything seems to point to you.
To me? What are you talking about? I can't lay myself off. Why not? Why not? Well, because in the first place, self-termination is an extremely difficult, not to mention injudicious thing to attempt. And in the second place, have you seen the stock market today? My 401k is in a shambles.
That's a good point. So is mine.
Ditto here.
Besides, this is my first real job. It's not like I have any savings and no insurance.
Maybe you could hire yourself as a temp before you lay yourself up.
Then you'd at least have a paycheck.
And Obamacare.
No, pardon me, there I am adamant. As president, my reputation is at stake, and I can't consent to self-layoff unless I can keep my insurance and also write myself a sparkling letter of reference.
This professional conscientiousness is highly creditable to you, but it leaves us in a very awkward position.
My good sir, the awkwardness of your position is grace itself compared with that of a man who can't even write himself a good reference.
I'm afraid that you're the sacrificial lamb, unless you can figure out some way to cut payroll. Some sort of substitute.
Substitute! Oh, why didn't I think of that? Reuben, I've decided to eliminate the marketing department. You will be my first layoff.
I should be delighted. Oh, I've never really had much interest in marketing. But no, at any sacrifice, I must protect my sales team. I am so proud if I allowed my family pride to be my guide. I volunteer to quit this sphere instead of you in a minute or two. But family pride must be denied and set aside and mortified and mortified.
Migrated teams with endless schemes, the latest thing in widgeting. But if I flip a benefit, then I diffuse the staff would lose. My only scheme to aid my team, each plot supreme for their esteem.
I heard one day a gentleman say that leisurely time without a dime is not so bad. Of course he had a wealthy wife, and so his life was much the same. He'd beaten the game, but as for you, I bid you adieu.
I am so proud.
Migrated team,
with endless family pride.
And so, although I'm ready to go, yet recollect with disrespected I neglect to thus effect this same direct. So I object.
And so, although I wish to go, and greatly pine to brightly shine and take the line of a hero fight with brief condign, I must decline.
And go and show the friend and foe how much you dare. I'm quite aware this your affair, yet I declare I take your share, and I don't much care.
I must
So I object.
Your share, I must.
So I
I
object.
take your share, I must.
So I
take your share, I must.
So I object.
To sit in solid silence with a rude riff-raff
sparks our staff, to sit in tall silence with a rude riff-raff, as you see us singing, shrieking on an engraved graph, awaiting the arrival of a long, loud laugh, and the unemployment of the sparks our staff, a rude riff-raff, a grim riff-raff, a long, loud laugh, the sparks our staff, to sit in tall silence in the unemployment of the sparks, you see us singing, shrieking while awaiting the arrival of the sparks our staff. Appalling. I, who allowed myself to be promoted above my ability simply to benefit the company, am now required to terminate myself, and that by a man I've always admired. Is this good corporate policy? Is this... Oh, how dare you? Am I never to be permitted a video selfie?
Oh, go on, don't mind me.
What are you doing?
I'm about to terminate my connection to all social media.
Terminate your connection? Nonsense, what for?
Because you are going to marry the girl I adore.
Oh, nonsense, sir, I won't permit it. I'm an ethical man, and if you attempt anything of the kind, I shall contact your service provider immediately.
That's absurd. If you attempt to reach them, I will smash your phone too.
No, don't do that. Why, you blithering idiot, are you aware that in disconnecting yourself, removing yourself, cutting yourself off, substitute!
What's the matter?
Is it absolutely certain that you have no need for interconnectivity?
Absolutely.
Will nothing shake your resolution?
Nothing.
Threats, entreaties, thoughts and prayers, all useless?
All. My mind is made up.
Then, if you really mean what you say, if you're absolutely resolved to disconnect, and if nothing whatever will shake your determination, let me hire you as a junior executive of Worldwide Widgets.
I don't see how that would benefit me.
You don't? Well, observe. You'll have almost a month to live it up, and you'll live like a king at company expense. When the day comes, in a grand public display, you'll be the central figure. No one will attempt to deprive you of that distinction. You'll be laid off indefinitely. There'll be a farewell party, cards, gifts, tearful goodbyes. Brielle will be devastated. Then, when it's all over, the staff will head to the bar for a celebratory drink. You won't be there, but we'll toast to you all the same.
Do you think Brielle would really be devastated by it?
Oh, I'm convinced of it. Bless you, she's the most tender-hearted little creature alive.
I should be sorry to cause her pain. Perhaps, after all, if I were to go back to Idaho, I might contrive to forget her.
Oh, I don't think you could forget Brielle so easily. And after all, it's better to have loved and lost than not to have done that. There's the small matter of her scholarship, for which my company is the sponsor.
True.
And knowing you have so inconvenienced Brielle, why, how could you stand it?
And yet some people are able to do it.
Poor devils, yes, you are quite right not to be of their number.
I won't be of your number. There.
Noble fellow.
I'll tell you how we'll manage it. Let me marry Brielle tomorrow, hire me on Monday, and in a month fire me, and I'll never trouble either of you again.
No. There I must put my foot down.
Very good. If you can put your foot down, so can I.
No, stop. Listen one moment, be reasonable. How can I consent to your marrying Brielle if I'm going to marry her myself?
My good friend, in a month she can divorce me for desertion, maybe even get an annulment, and you can marry her then.
Well, that's true, of course. I quite see that, but dear me, my position during the next month will be most unpleasant. Most unpleasant.
Not half so unpleasant as mine at the end of it. In Idaho, with no Wi-Fi?
Oh, dear me. Well, I agree. After all, it's only putting off my wedding for a month. But you won't prejudice her against me, will you? See, I've almost convinced Brielle that I know what I'm talking about. I shouldn't like her views on that point disturbed.
Trust me, she shall never learn the truth from me.
in all but perfection?
Well, dear, it can't be denied that the fact that your husband is moving to the forest to live with the bears is, in its way, a drawback. It does seem a little hard to bear.
Oh, I don't know about that. It all depends.
I think it's very indelicate of you to refer to such a subject on such a day. If my married happiness is to be
Crushed, frozen,
oh, well, cut short in a month. Can't you let me forget it?
Brielle in tears, and on her wedding day.
Oh, did you remind me that in a month you're going to disappear?
Yes, we have been reminding her that you are going to forest and live with bears.
Oh,
it's quite true, you know. It will be unbearable.
Now, some bridegrooms would be depressed by this sort of thing. A month? Well, what's a month? These divisions of time are purely arbitrary. Who says 24 hours make a day?
There is a popular impression to that effect.
Then we'll ignore it. We'll call each second a minute, each minute an hour, each hour a day, and each day a year. At that rate, we've about 30 years of married happiness before us.
And at that rate, this conversation has already lasted 4 hours and 3/4.
Yes, how time flies when one is thoroughly enjoying themselves.
That's the way to look at it. Don't let's be downhearted. There's a silver lining to every cloud.
Certainly, let's be perfectly happy.
By all means, let's thoroughly enjoy ourselves.
Please, it is absurd to cry.
That's quite ridiculous. Brightly dawns our wedding day.
Joyous are we give thee greeting with a winter light now fleeting. Fickle moment, prithee stay. Fickle moment, prithee stay. Go on, don't mind me.
I'm afraid we're distressing you.
Oh, never mind, I must get used to it. Only please, do it by degrees. Begin by putting your arm around her waist. There, let me get used to that first.
Wouldn't you like to step off? I mean, it must pain you to see us so affectionate together.
No, I must learn to bear it. Now, oblige me by allowing her head to rest on your shoulder.
Like that?
Geez, I'm much obliged to you. Now, kiss her. Thank you. It's simple torture.
Oh, bear up. After all, it's only for a month.
Oh, no. It's no use deluding oneself with false hopes.
What do you mean?
My child, my poor child, how shall I break it to her? My little bride that was to have been.
Or was to have been.
Yes, you can never be mine.
What?
Oh, I'm so glad.
I've just ascertained that by worldwide Widget's corporate policy, employees and their families are not eligible for, and if previously awarded, must immediately repay the balance of their scholarships, plus a penalty of 10%.
A penalty?
10%. Rules are rules. When you accepted the scholarship, didn't you click on the terms and conditions link?
Who reads the terms and conditions?
But who told you about the terms and conditions?
Oh, Reuben. He's my executive secretary. He clicks on everything.
Couldn't he be mistaken?
I thought of that. So I consulted the CFO, the COO, the C.E.O., the CIO, my CPA, and my chiropractor, and they all had my back. Never knew such unanimity on standard operating procedure in my life.
But stop a bit. Has this rule ever been enforced?
Not yet. Nobody but Reuben has ever clicked on the terms and conditions.
Well, I suppose our dream of happiness is at an end.
Darling, I don't want to appear selfish, and I love you with all of my heart. You know, I don't suppose I'll ever love anybody else half as much. But when I agreed to marry you, my own, I had no idea that I would have to repay back my scholarship, and plus 10%.
Nor I. Who reads the terms and conditions?
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does make a difference, of course.
You see, I'm a music major. I can't get a real job.
Tell me about it.
You see my difficulty, don't you?
Yes, and I see my own. If I insist on marriage, I doom you to a life of perpetual debt. If I release you, you marry Hugo to avoid enforcement of the terms and conditions.
Here's how they do if I marry you. When your time has come to vanish, then your newfound wife you banish to the poorhouse too. Here's how they do. Here's how they do.
Here's a pretty mess, in a month or less. I'm a ghost before my wedding, let my bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess, here's a pretty mess.
Here's the state of things, to her dream she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion, endless debt it brings. Here's the state of things, here's the state of things. With a passion that's intense and worship and adore, but the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If what I say is true, she's get to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty state of things.
Here's a howdy.
Here's a howdy-do. For if what I say is true, I cannot marry you. Here's a I'm really very sorry for you.
Thanks. I'm sure you are.
You see, I'm quite helpless.
I quite see that.
I can't conceive anything more distressing than to have one's marriage broken off at the last moment. But you shan't be disappointed of a wedding. You shall come to mine.
It's awfully kind of you, but that's impossible.
Why so?
I'm Ali.
What do you mean?
I can't stay here and watch
No, pardon me. I can't allow that.
Why not?
You gave me your word to hire in at Worldwide Widgets on Monday, and then be laid off in a month's time. If you leave now, what's to become of me? Why, I shall have to be terminated in your place.
It would certainly seem so.
Oh, now then, Chief Bottle Washer, what is it?
Our beloved CEO just arrived at Metro and will be here in about 10 minutes.
Mr. Bender. He's coming to see whether his orders have been carried out. Now look here, you know, this is getting serious. A bargain's a bargain, and you really mustn't try to circumvent corporate policy.
Very well then, fire me.
What, now?
Certainly, at once.
Do it! Do it! My good sir, how can I fire you? You don't work for me!
Well, that's a poor excuse. Fire him now.
Fine, hire me now. You have 10 minutes. Then fire me after the big cheese leaves. Then I'm out of here.
My good sir, do you have any idea of the paperwork required for a new hire, let alone for insurance? Why, 10 department heads working together couldn't fill out all the forms with all the proper authorizations, not to mention all the electronic signatures for the hiring process alone in 10 minutes. And think of the blisters, the cramps, oh, my aching thumbs. And on a Saturday.
Well, if it can't be done...
Oh, can it?
What do you mean?
I think just maybe it can. I have my cell phone, I have all the necessary apps, and I have the heads, and better yet the thumbs of every department in the company.
But where are they?
There they are. They'll all sign off on it, won't you?
Am I to understand that all us department heads are required to work on a Saturday to ensure your tenure?
Why not? You'll be drowning in free beer by nightfall.
Cash or credit?
It will be a direct transfer. Deal? Deal.
But I tell you that a life without Brielle...
Oh, Brielle Schmiel, I'm sick and tired of hearing that name. Here, Mr. Alphabet Soup, go and find Brielle. Take Brielle and marry Brielle and then go away and never come back again. Oh, here she is, Brielle. Are you particularly busy?
Not particularly,
You've 5 minutes to spare?
I guess.
Then go along with His Grace, the Worldwide Widgets Company chaplain. He'll marry you at once.
But if I'm to be buried in
No,
debt...
no, don't ask any questions, but do as I tell you. Exactly will explain all.
But one
No,
more...
not in your life. Here comes the CEO, no doubt to ascertain whether I've obeyed his decree. And I don't want him asking any hypothetical questions about the hypothetical details of your hypothetical job. That was close. Here he comes.
From every employee obedience I expect. I'm the company's CEO.
And I'm his daughter-in-law elect. He'll marry his son, he's only got one to his daughter-in-law
My models have been declared particularly correct.
As to nothing at all compared with those of his daughter-in-law elect. Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
In a fatherly kind of way, I always command respect, or cheerfully own my sway.
Except his daughter-in-law elect. As tough as a boar with a will of her own is his daughter-in-law elect.
My nature is love and light, my freedom from all defect.
Is insignificant quite compared with his daughter-in-law elect. Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
A C.E.O. more caring never did in the world exist. To nobody second, I'm certainly reckoned a true philanthropist. It is my very humane endeavor to quash to some extent each rash opinion in my dominion by conquering all dissent. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to make your morals align with mine, your morals align with mine. Each faithful employee with management must agree. In fact, it's company policy, it's company policy. On those ye irksome prying reporters who chatter and bleat and bore, a cat and big brother to whine at each other until their tongues are sore. The tedious blogger whose rash opinions are spewed like chemical waste shall be disconnected at times unexpected and all their thoughts erased. The protester who must pick at my business through shouts and chants and signs is made to pay fences when day recommences in alternate big lines. The liberals who on social media offer their mindless memes will now be restricted to see depicted old selfies in endless streams. My object don't supply, I shall achieve in time, to make your morals align with mine, your morals align with mine. Each faithful employee with management must agree. In fact, it's company policy, it's company policy.
And now as by design, all discord we decline. Our moral compass is all aligned, our compass is all aligned. Each faithful employee with management must agree. In fact, it's company policy, it's company policy.
A more humane employer never did in the world exist. To nobody's second, I'm certainly reckoned a crude and pragmatist. It is my very sincere endeavor to quash to some extent each false opinion in my dominion by stifling all dissent. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, to make your morals align with mine, your morals align with mine. Each faithful employee with management must agree. In fact, it's company policy, it's company policy. My engineers designing widgets as pointless as they are plain. Their each novel notional break was a motion for reasons they can't explain. My ludicrous lawyers who rattle off bases, my arguments are absurd. I'm doomed to repeating each pre-trial meeting on cases that won't be heard. My salesman pinching purchase says that the customer soon regrets must serve on the panels of home shopping channels and order perfumes for pets. Department heads who feed their egos while idly filling chairs must join in the call of our Idaho store and function as food for bears. My object of supply I shall achieve in time to make your morals align with mine, your morals align with mine. Each faithful employee with management must agree. In fact, it's company policy, it's company policy.
And now is my design, all discord we decline. Our moral compasses all align, our compasses all align. Each faithful employee with management must agree. In fact, it's company policy, it's company policy. I am honored in being permitted to welcome you to Ann Arbor, home of Worldwide Widget Company. I guess the object of your visit. Your wishes have been attended to. A layoff has taken place.
Oh, you've had a termination.
Yes, and the notary public has just shown me his data file.
I am the notary public.
And this is the termination data file. Attached, please find documents relating to this action, digitally signed by the CFO, the COO, the CIO, the C.E.O., the head of security, and the afternoon clerk in the gift shop.
They were all there, sir. I counted them myself.
Very good house. I wish I'd been there for the performance.
Oh, a tough fellow he was, too. A man with nerves of steel. His internal struggles were dramatic. It really was a remarkable scene.
Describe it.
The manager stared when I called him in, for he didn't know what to think. With a grateful, graceful, gracious grin, I offered him a drink. I asked him for his company card, and on his knees fell he. As he begged and simpered and whined and whimpered, I took his washroom key. His washroom key. Oh, never shall I forget the sigh, or the shriek that shrieked he, as he felt the sting when from its ring I took his washroom key. We know him well, he cannot tell how true or round his fares. He always tries to love and life, and every time he fares.
He shivered and shook as he cleaned his face, for the pain he didn't deter. When all of a sudden he stopped in place, and he seemed to find his nerve. For he nodded his head and caught my eye, he winked with crazy teeth. Then he looked at his door and winked one more, and gave me his office key. His office key. When a man afraid of beautiful men is a charming sight to see, and his own I'm glad that no possess was struck by sight of me.
The terrible tale you can't just tell, the truth is quite the breeze. Her taste exact for flawless fact amounts to a disease.
Now, though it was clear that his career would be doomed to long surcease, then what to my wondering eye should appear but a man who aimed to please? He strode to my desk and he tipped his hat just as jauntily as could be, for he clearly yearned for reference earned from a man of pedigree, of pedigree. And as he stood mute, that firm salute was a touching sight to see. Though jobless yet, he wanted to get a reference note from me.
His hearty youth, he speaks the truth wherever he finds it pays. And in this case, it all took place exactly as he said. Exactly, 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 exactly as he says.
Oh, this is very interesting, and I should like to have seen it. But we came about a totally different matter. A year ago, my son, an unpaid intern at our Miami office, and the heir to my enormous fortune, bolted.
Indeed, had he any reason to be dissatisfied with his position?
None whatever. On the contrary, I was about to marry him, yet he fled.
I'm surprised that he should have fled from one so lovely.
That's not true.
No.
You hold that I am not beautiful because my face is plain, but you know nothing. You are still unenlightened. Well, then, that it is not in the face alone that beauty is to be sought. My face is unattractive.
It is.
But I am doctor of pharmacy at Siberian State Medical University, a full colonel in the Russian army, and I am now wearing the gold medal I won in Olympic weightlifting.
Allow me.
Ha! It is on due Tuesdays and Fridays, on presentation of visiting card. My deadlift is the greatest in the world.
And yet he fled.
And is now enrolled in the university in this town, supposedly as a student of the trombone.
The trombone?
Yes. Would it be troubling you too much if I asked you to produce him? He goes by the name of
Zachary.
Zachary.
It's quite easy. That is, in point of fact, it's rather difficult. In fact, he's headed west.
Headed west? To what part of the west?
Idaho?
Ha!
What's the matter?
See here. His name, Zachary Bender, terminated this morning.
Dear, dear, dear. This is very tiresome. My poor fellow, in your anxiety to carry out my wishes, you have terminated the heir to the Bender fortune. I've been waiting for him to get a real job for 7 years.
I beg to offer an unqualified apology.
I desire to associate myself with that expression of regret.
We really haven't the least notion.
Of course you hadn't. How could you? Come, my good fellow, don't distress yourself. It was no fault of yours. If a man of exalted rank chooses to present false credentials and references, he must take the consequences. It really distresses me to see you take on so. I've no doubt you thoroughly deserve to be let go.
We are infinitely obliged to you.
Much obliged to you.
Very much obliged.
Obliged? Not a bit. Don't mention it. How could you tell?
Oh, of course, we couldn't tell who the gentleman really was.
And you wasn't written on his forehead, you know.
It might have been listed under terms and conditions.
I forget the legal implications of an executive hiring an employee without checking his references.
Legal implications?
Yes. Something about malfeasance, fraud, dereliction of duty. I forget whether there's only an enormous fine or some other liability.
If your majesty will accept our assurance, we had no idea.
Of course.
I know nothing about it.
I wasn't there.
That's the pathetic part of it. Unfortunately, the company code says nothing about an honest mistake.
No.
Or ignorance of the rules.
No.
Or not being there.
No.
Or not reading the terms and conditions.
No.
There should be something, of course.
Yes.
But there isn't.
No.
That's the Byzantine way in which these SOPs are always drawn. But don't worry about it. Cheer up. I'll have it altered. Next fiscal year. Now, let's see about your termination and incarceration. We'll have to luncheon suit you. Can you wait until then?
Oh, yes, we can wait until
then. I don't want any lunch.
I'm really very sorry for you all, but it's an unjust world. And virtue is triumphant only in theatrical performances.
Well, a nice mess you got us into with your mute salute and your references from a verbal pedigree.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to an otherwise bald and unconvincing narrative.
Corroborated detail indeed. Corroborated detail fallacy.
And you're just as bad as he is, with your cock and bull stories about catching his eye and his triple wink. But that's just like you. You must put in your oar.
What about you and your gratuitous grin?
Yes, and your washroom key.
Well, at least I actually worked there.
Oh,
It could have happened that way.
Oh, I've been working there for 2 years, and at that is the head of HR.
Fisher is your father? Oh, never mind that now. There's only one thing to be done. Zachary hasn't left for Idaho yet. We must find him an internship and check his references at once. Oh, here he comes. Here, Zachary, I've good news for you. You've been rehired.
Oh, but it's too late. I'm unemployed and I'm off for my honeymoon.
Nonsense. A terrible thing has just happened. It seems you're the son of the CEO.
Yes, but that happened some time ago.
Is this a time for airy persiflage? Your father is here, and with Katya.
My father? And with Katya?
Yes, and he wants you particularly.
So does she.
But she's married now.
Oh, but bless my heart, what has that got to do with anything?
Katya claims to be in marriage, but I can't marry her because I'm married already. Consequently, she will cancel the Russia deal, and she may file charges against my father.
You see our difficulty.
Oh, yes, I don't know what's to be done.
There's one chance for you. If you could persuade Katya to marry you instead, she would have no further claim on me. And in that case, the company would be saved, the scholarship program would continue, and you wouldn't end up in prison, the poorhouse, or Pakistan.
I married Katya?
Well, I really think it's the only course.
But my good girl, have you seen her? She's got biceps larger than my legs.
She can wear long sleeves. She also have a medical degree, for heaven's sake.
I am told that her latissimus dorsi is much appreciated by players in the NFL.
My good sir, I decline to pin my heart to any lady's latissimus dorsi.
It comes to this. While Katya is single, I prefer to be a disembodied spirit living elsewhere and off the grid. When Katya is married, an internship and a continuing social media presence will be as welcome as the flowers in the spring. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, breathe promise of merry sunshine. As we merrily dance and we sing, tra-la, we welcome the hope that they bring, tra-la, of a summer of roses and wine, of a summer of roses and wine. And that's what we mean when we say that the thing is welcome as flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have nothing to do with the case. I've got to take under my care, tra-la, a weightlifter extraordinaire, tra-la, with a forearm as big as my face, with a forearm as big as my face. And that's what I mean when I say or I sing, oh bother the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, oh bother the flowers of spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. Katya?
The miscreant who robbed me of my love. But vengeance pursues, they are texting the authorities.
Katya, behold a suppliant at your feet. Katya, mercy!
Mercy? Had you mercy on him? See here, you have driven off my love. He did not love me, but he would have loved me in time. I am an acquired taste. Only the educated palate can appreciate me. I was educating his palate when he left me. Well, he is gone. And where shall I find another? It takes years to train a man to love me. Am I to go through the very round again and at the same time implore mercy for you who robbed me of my prey? I mean my pupil. Just as his education was on the point of completion. Oh, where shall I should find another?
Here!
What?
Katya, from the moment I saw you, I loved you with a white-hot passion that is slowly but surely consuming my very vitals. Oh, shrink not from me. If there's aught of woman's mercy in your heart, turn not away from a lovesick suppliant whose every fiber thrills to your tiniest touch. True it is that under a poor mask of disinterest, I have endeavored to conceal a passion whose inner fires are broiling the soul within me. But the fire will not be smothered. It defies all attempts at extinction and breaking forth, all the more eagerly for its long restraint. It declares itself in words that will not be weighed, that cannot be schooled, that should not be too severely criticized. Katya, I dare not hope for your love, but I will not live without it. Darling!
You, whose phone still vibrates with the betrayal of my betrothed, dare to address words of passion to the woman you are so foully wronged.
I do. Accept my love, or I perish on the spot.
God, too, who knows how well as I that no one has ever yet died of a broken heart.
Oh, you know not what you say. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit willow, tit willow. And I said to him, Dicky bird, why do you sit singing willow, tit willow, tit willow? Is it weakness of intellect, birdie, I cried, or a rather tough worm on your little inside? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He slapped at his chest as he sat on that bough, singing willow, tit willow, tit willow. And a cold perspiration bespangled his brow. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. He sobbed and he sighed, and a gurgle he gave. Then he plunged himself into the billowy wave, and an echo arose from the suicide's grave. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. Now I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't willow, tit willow, tit willow. 'Twas blighted affection that made him exclaim, oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow. And if you remain callous and obdurate, I will perish as he did, and you will know why. Though I probably shall not explain as I die. Oh, willow, titwillow, titwillow. He really did.
All on account of a cruel little hen.
Yes.
Poor little chap.
It's an affecting tale and quite true. I read it on Facebook.
Oh, he must have been very fond of her.
His devotion was something extraordinary.
Oh, poor little chap. And if I refuse you, will you go and do the same?
At once!
Oh, no, you mustn't anything but that.
Oh, yes, you are.
Just bucks.
Thank you.
And you won't hate me because I'm addicted to steroids.
Hate you? Oh, Katya, is there not beauty even in unaccountable bursts of hostility?
My idea exactly. There is beauty in the bellow of the blast. There is grandeur in the clothing of the gale. There is eloquent of poem when the lion is roaring and the tiger is a lashing of his tail.
Yes, I like to see a tiger from the Congo or the Niger, and especially when lashing of his tail.
Volcanoes have a splendor that is grim, and earthquakes only terrify the toads. But to him, the scientific, there is nothing that's terrific in the falling of flight of thunderbolts.
Yes, in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbolts. If that is so, sing merry now, Terry, it's evident, very odd, taste of fun. Away we'll go, and merrily, merry notes only, Terry, till day is done. Is there beauty in extreme toroidal rage? Do you fancy you are muscular enough? Information I'm requesting on the subject interesting. Is a maiden all the better when she's tough?
In my country most extensive, it's an axiom ostensive that shall last a good deal longer when she's tough.
Are you thick enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait until your density is weighed? There's a fascination frantic in the craving of gigantic. Can your body be effectively displayed?
To the matter that you mention, I have given some attention, and I think it can be properly displayed.
If that is so, sing very loud, Mary, it's evident, very odd taste of fun. Away we'll go, and merrily, merry notes heartily, Terry, till day is done. If that is so, sing very loud, Mary, it's evident, very odd taste of fun. Away we'll go, and merrily, merry notes heartily, Terry, till day is done. Sing very loud, Mary, we'll merrily, merry notes heartily, Terry, till day is done.
And we're quite ready. Have all the legal preparations been made?
Yes, sir. All is prepared.
Then produce the unfortunate gentleman and his two well-meaning but misguided accomplices.
Mercy! Mercy for Hugo! Mercy for Jessica! Mercy! Even for Ruben.
I beg your pardon. I don't think I quite caught that remark.
Mercy even for Reuben.
Mercy. My husband that was to have been is dead to me, and I have just married this miserable object.
Oh. You've not been long about it.
We were married by the bartender.
Oh, I'm the bartender.
I see. But my difficulty is that as you've driven off my heir apparent,
Your heir apparent is here.
well, bless my heart.
And your
My
daughter
Ah,
And your daughter-in-law elected.
Miscreant, you have deceived me.
yes, you are entitled to a little explanation, but I think you will give it better whole than in pieces.
Your Majesty, it's like this. It's true I stated that I had terminated Zachary.
Yes, with most affecting particulars.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic venison.
Will you refrain from putting in your oar? It's like this. When the CEO says, let a thing be done, it's as good as done. Practically it is done, because what the CEO says goes. Your authority says, fire this person, and that person is scheduled to be fired. Consequently, that person is as good as gone. Practically, they are gone. And if they are gone, why not say so?
I see. I don't find that argument satisfactory.
Okay, how about this? Reuben is covering 59 different jobs, but you only have to pay for one set of insurance and benefits.
Now that sounds like a solid business model. Sold!
Hurrah!
Oh, she know what baby you go. As soon as baby is possible, baby she's giving a money we know. No. Then I think we'll get them free.
I'm ecstatic, things came out just so. My troubles, though many, were worth every penny. I'm transferring to Idaho. And taking my concha with me.
Oh, we're happy things came out just so. We're not going to Idaho. You'll find there are many who rest for a penny. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea.
The threatened cloud has passed away.
And then shines the joy day.
Will the night may come too soon?
Is yet one of afternoon.
And let the throng of joy and dance with laughing song and merry dance. Let the throng of joy and dance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song. With joyous shout and make it cheer. Inaugurate and make the ring. Joyous shout and make it cheer. Inaugurate and make the joyous shout and make it cheer.